See, Morgan Hill is a kind of deadbeat town. Their state of being reflects the lack of interesting things in the city, you know, and you get the expected kind of criminals here and there because they're responding to being in a deadbeat town that's not very exciting. There's not many things that inspire you. There's no like college in the town. You gotta go to San Jose or Gilroy or what have you. There's nothing really here. However, it is not that much different than San Jose and Gilroy. There are differences in the people, but it's not that much difference. It's just a more boring version of Gilroy and San Jose, you know. But there are some differences in the types of people you see. You know, San Jose has more kind of career criminals, you know, and it reflects that in their kind of cultures, subcultures, and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, you know, of course, there's a lot of, you know, married people with families, like a retirement town to some degree, family town, and people who, you know, grew up here, they move out by a certain age. Now, the problem here isn't Morgan Hill, right? I used to go to San Jose more often than Morgan Hill because there was nothing here. You see what I'm saying? Now I go to run errands and to, you know, to try to bring people from the other cities over here because it's less likely to, you know, it's a more kickback place, so it's less threatening, and, you know, it is a perfect place in many ways to kind of bring people together for moral precision. But, you know, at the same time, it is a deadbeat town. Okay, there is nothing here that makes you go, hey, I'm glad I'm there. So in downtown, they developed it a little bit more. This is actually this might be the most kind of vibrant part of the whole town is Safeway here on Tenant. And of course, there's a street called Vineyard that crosses Tenant, and a street called Church, right? The parable of the tenants, right? Church, Tenant, Vineyard. And it's not a coincidence. Here I am, Christ, and I'm here, and they reject me as a town, as a nation, you know, because you can see some of these people are born other places, born down south, born in you know, Seattle or something, or in a different city in California, and so on and so forth. So it is somewhat representative of the nation at large, because these people they weren't just born here and stay here. There are certain personality types decided to move here, and a lot of them are a bit more reasonable, but they're reserved, right? You don't really see people saying hey to each other, say hi, how are you doing, hello neighbor, right? Unless they really know each other. So there's minimal interaction. In some small towns in the South, for example, as the story goes, they talk to each other more. So there's a certain social distancing that exists already here. And of course, Morgan Le Fay, Morgan Hill, right? Kind of King of the Hill. That's a great example. It's King of the Hill mixed with California, right outside of San Jose, which is significantly different than LA. Okay, the traffic isn't as bad. There's key differences. You know, but at the end of the day, I've went to boarding school in Southern California. I've reform school in Southern California. I've visited there many times. I'm pretty aware of the different types of people in the state at large. And, you know, the problem is the attitudes and beliefs and sentiments and behaviors of the country, not just this region, you know, and it equals non-receptivity to God. And it equals the rejection of martial supremacy, of moral supremacy, right? These people probably never heard the phrase moral supremacy in their lives. I didn't hear it for quite some time. I was describing it pretty much my whole life and talking about how the church needs a valid order and people need to, you know, pay the worker their wages, give people their rightful places, and not do it by mere human rules, customs, and traditions. When I was younger, you know, I used to think that everyone should scramble to the Catholic Church and tell the complete truth, not be Catholics, but to figure out who's right and who's wrong and create a valid moral order. Of course, that would have worked, but people don't see it that way. They worship the devil.